Harnaaz! Welcome to the Philippines. I'm MJ Marfori from TV5 News. Welcome. I just want to ask, because it's related to your advocacy, did you experience discrimination about menstrual health when you were younger? Can you share it with us? Maybe, when your hormones was haywire because of being a woman? There's no mic. Yeah, mic.
Well, I think I still had the honor, and I was enough lucky that my mom, being a gynecologist, made sure that I'm comfortable when I'm talking about my menstrual health. But I think the only discrimination that I felt was within my own self. Whenever I used to go to the school, I was very uncomfortable to talk about this. But there, where I realized that if I don't speak about it now, then it would get worse. Not only for me, but so many women out there who don't have the access to pads and who are living in such a stereotype mindset of people around them, where they think menstruation is a taboo and untouchability. So that's where I felt that this is not only for me, but everyone out there. So let's speak it and let's talk about it and normalize it.
And now that you're Miss Universe, of course, you're human too. And a woman, you also have period, right? So what happens when you have to wear all those glamorous clothes, you have to go to these events, and of course you're not feeling well, or it's that time of the month?
I think it happens with everyone. When we are on our periods, we have different moods, and it's okay to feel the way you feel. And with me also, I think even during Miss Universe pageant, there were so many of us, and one of us was on it every day. We were on periods, one of us. So I think that is not a reason for us to make an excuse of that we can't do something, or I'm on my period and that's why I don't want to work. It's definitely your personal choice, but trust me, you are unstoppable, and we bleed every month, and that should not come in between our work to achieving our goals.
Thank you, Harnaaz. Enjoy your time here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, MJ. I think we have, sir, yes.
Hi, Harnaaz.
Hello.
Welcome to the Philippines. I'm Noli Berioso for OPM. My question is, it is normal for a woman like you to get emotional during their monthly period?
I'm sorry?
It is normal for a woman like you to get emotional during their monthly period?
Absolutely, yes. I'm a woman and I menstruate. So it's totally okay to feel emotional, have different moods during when you are menstruating. And I think people forget most of the times that we are also a human being, and we all go through different emotions, and it's important to express it out. There's a part of your body that is occurrence, and it's happening every month, and you need to feel comfortable with what you do and what you say. And not only she herself being comfortable about her emotions, but at the same time people around her needs to make her more comfortable, and that's very important.
Okay. Should a young girl need to tell her family or close friends about her experiences with regards to her first,
Yes. Absolutely, yes. Whoever she is comfortable with, her mom, her sister, her friend, or even her brother, if she's comfortable to talk about her first experience of periods, I think it's important to talk. The more we talk is more we're going to educate ourselves, and the time we talk, we won't only talk for ourselves, but we will give the voice to a lot of women around the world. So it's important for all of us sitting here to make everyone feel comfortable, and especially a girl who's having a first period. In her schools, in her personal life, she needs to be enough vocal about what she feels and what she needs to know more about. And the other mode of educating her is definitely through schools and her parenting.
Thank you, Elsa.
Thank you.
Harnaaz, now that you have the Miss Universe crown on your head, how does it feel to have the platform for your advocacies like the menstrual equity?
I'm humbled and I'm really grateful opportunity to speak about what I really want to and to break stigmas about menstrual health and women empowerment. I think not everyone gets this opportunity and it is overwhelming at the same time, but when I hear young girls, young boys talking about menstruation and having their viewpoints and sharing their stories, that makes my voice more strong because it's not only mine, it's all of them talking together. It's the whole universe united. So I'm really grateful and responsible towards the platform that is given to me through Miss Universe organization to break so many stereotype mindsets towards menstrual health.
How bad is menstrual discrimination in your country?
I think there are some parts in India and I think all around the world, maybe in Philippines too if I'm not wrong, where when women during those days, which is periods when they are menstruating, they are asked to stay out of their own home and they are, in most of us, they're separated and they're not allowed to go to temple, to touch a few things, to perform the normal activities as a normal human being in that own family, just because she's menstruating and they believe that it will get impure and it's a taboo and it's untouchability. And I think we know it's wrong, nothing like that is supposed to be even thinking like. I think the stigma starts within our mindset. And that is the time when a girl grows up being uncomfortable about her own health and she never speaks. And that leads to of her not achieving her goals, which should never be the situation now. And now things are changing. Now I saw everyone talking about it, normalizing it, their own experiences, and making young girls feeling comfortable around themselves. I think this is the change we want.
Thank you.
I think we have a question from this side.
Hello.
So, having menstruation is a physical problem. You mentioned all the stigmas and all the issues that can come from not speaking about it. If a woman or a young lady goes through those issues of being bullied, access to pads and, like segregated as you were talking about, how could this, why is it so important to address it with regards to how it could affect a woman mentally, emotionally, and intellectually?
Absolutely. I think it starts within yourself. If you are not expected to treat your own health wisely, or you're not giving the priority to talk about your own health, how will you be vocal about it and how will you come out of that situation physically and mentally when you're not ready to achieve your goals? That affects not only you but so many generations henceforth. So you need to speak about it, and I think when there's the other part of the world who don't have the access to pads, who are not enough vocal and not made comfortable about their own health or talking about menstruation, reproductive health. The other part of the world, that is us, where we all have gathered today to talk on this great reason. We will support them, provide them, make them feel comfortable that in the end of the day, it's you, your health, and nothing, especially not menstruation, should stop you from achieving your goals.
Quick follow-up, can you tell us about the machine, the pad machine that is going to be donated to the Philippines in partnership with MEO and the pad? Because it's quite unique.
Absolutely. It's an honor for me to be here today and to take forward of what we have been doing in Delhi, India. And we are donating another machine, pad machine, with Plan International, Padman, and Miss Universe organization. And this will not only give pads to women in that community and young girls, they will educate themselves about the pad machine and how accessible it is for them to make their own pads. And I believe that if you don't ask for a pad, nobody will give you a pad. And now you need not to ask for a pad because you are a superwoman and you can make your own pad. And it will also give livelihood to so many women in that community. And I think that is what we really would see happening, women supporting each other and uplifting and taking care of ourselves, our health, and being more vocal. So I'm really, really excited about that part of the trip too. Thank you.
I think we have here, and then we have Sir, and then President.
Namaste.
Namaste.
I'm Salto Caparas for the Star Lover. In the future, you will have children of your own. At what age, in case you will have a daughter, at what age of your daughter or daughters you will educate them about menstruation? Because in the past, young girls do not have, were not educated and were traumatized on their first menstruation.
Right. Well, that's too far to think about, and I don't know what will happen, whether it will be a girl child or a boy child.
In case,
Yes, either it could be a girl or boy child, but for me, educating both of them is more important. It's not only about educating the girl about her menstruation, making her feel comfortable and giving her the best answers to her questions regarding that, but also to a boy, because he will equally support his sister, his mother, his friend, his fiance, his wife, and they play equal parts in our lives. So I also feel that there are so many young girls, especially right now, who still don't talk about menstruation, and they know that due to that they miss their schools, they do not achieve a lot of things, and I don't want them to regret after 17 years of their lives when they have a girl child and they realize that I should have talked about it. Not because of herself, but now that she has a daughter and she knows that how difficult it's going to be for her. And the change needs to start from now, and change is happening now. Thank you.
Next up is Inquirer, and then Malaya.
Hi, Armin Adino from the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Harnaaz, may I know at what point in your life did it become confident and comfortable for you to talk about menstruation, and what brought about that comfortability level?
I think we all go through a lot of peer pressure, and even I was going through during my pre-teens, where I realized that talking about your health, talking about something which is going to be a part and which is natural and not in your hands is very important to educate yourself and everyone around you. So I learned when I knew that it was the time to learn, and again about the fact that when young girls are bullied, when they have stains on their pants or in schools or anywhere they go, I think that needs to stop. I was enough fortunate that episode didn't happen to me during the school, but it happened with me during work. And in any place, whether in schools, your workplace, everyone needs to understand that this is not what you need to run from. They try to hide pads when you go out and you purchase a pad. They try to not talk about menstruation and try to change the topic. But then, there where we have organizations like Plan International to support us, to educate us, and to make it very important out there to break the stigmas about menstruation, which is not it's not a stigma that we need to think. And Ms. Annie, what do you think about this question about empowering?
Yeah, thank you, Harnaaz. I think it's very important for us to realize now at such an early age, or would I say, at an age that would be ready. It's an age appropriate, an age readiness to discuss about these things. So, but I think we actually have launched this, but this advocacy and the program, but as it is, we have been doing it for the past, I think I mentioned it in my message, for the past 3 years. If you notice, one of the presentations, it was made mentioned that during disasters especially, there is a lack of, and there is a need for menstrual pads. I just would like to inform that for Plan International Philippines, we do distribute in our hygiene kits the menstrual pads. But more importantly, it is important, I would like to make mention of the fact that the awareness raising is really, really important, right? Very basic, very important. So you have listened to the children and the youth. There are a lot of concrete suggestions, and we're taking that forward as well.
Thank you so much, Harnaaz and Miss Annie. Before we move on to the next question, maybe we can hear a little bit from our youth leaders here, talking about youth empowerment. What has the impact been during this 2-day workshop and this chance to be with Miss Universe Harnaaz for you as a male champion and for you, Adriana, as a young woman?
Is it okay that I have a script? Okay, so greetings, namaste, Ms. Harnaaz. Mabuhay and welcome to our country. It is an honor for me to speak in front of one of the most empowered women in the universe. I was just watching Miss Universe last December with my friends. Me, John Michael, Ivy, Chantal, Jamaica, and the rest of my family are a big fan of yours. And now I'm here delivering my message to Ms. Harnaaz right now, right here, and I just can't believe it. Way back in our community, some men do not understand the situation of a girl when they have their menstrual period. And sometimes, they are bullied when they got period stains, and some men do not know how to support girls and women when they have menstruation. And now that I was able to attend this kind of workshop and acquire the knowledge regarding menstruation, I realized that as a man and a part of the society, boys and men play a significant role and should be involved in this conversation as well as in women empowerment. As we go back to our community and as a youth leader, I will impart my knowledge, educate them to be aware and knowledgeable of this matter. Men can support women by understanding women having menstruation, that it is normal in a natural process. Comfort girls when they have menstruation, understand sensitive conversation, to not judge and be disgusted, and lastly, to do not insult. To the youth leaders, decision makers, power holders, and duty bearers out there, let's continue fighting and supporting this kind of advocacy, and let's engage everyone, including boys and men, in this battle to have an equal and a better society to live in. I will treasure this moment, and it will serve as a motivation for me to keep going and doing this responsibility for the youth. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Plan International for inviting me and for having me for 4 consecutive years as a youth peer educator in our community. Shukriya. Maraming salamat po. Hashtag menstrual equity now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bryce. Adriana, do you want to add anything?
I just wanted to say thank you again to Miss Universe because you chose the Philippines, you chose to visit and be partner of that international. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, now we have a question from Malaya, Mr. J. Gata.
I'm Jay Bataw from Malaya Inside. Harnaaz, you've been pouring your platform from your native country. You've been pouring your platform from your native country into other countries, now the Philippines. So what is the most stark difference that you have found, aside from the cultural taboos, in terms of menstrual laws of girls and young women?
Well, it's day one, and I think there are so many taboos all around the world, and I mean, it keeps on changing according to the community and culture. But rather than talking about difference, I would like to talk about the similarities that I can find in India and in the Philippines. Apart from great mangoes, I think I could see and sense the change, power, and the voices of young girls and boys who are the youth of tomorrow. And they're changing their mindsets, and they're changing the generation and breaking so many stigmas and stereotypes with each word they use. And I think that is what empowers me and makes me more grateful that I've given this opportunity to meet you all in person, to hear your stories and add it up into my speech and give it to the world. So I'm just honored to be here to watch these similarities by being with change makers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Continue to team. Yes,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask, what are the next projects that you have?
Oh, okay, in relation to this, there are actually...
From today on.
All right. I will just, because there are a lot. I'll just focus on this, all right? So from here onwards, we continue with our advocacy, with our fight. As I mentioned earlier, I think there are very concrete recommendations that were presented by the youth. But more specifically, I think it's the same. More specifically, what we will be doing is that we also await the machine. We're very excited to receive the machine. This sanitary pad making machine. We are in full and discussion, and of course there's going to be a lot of consultation processes with the youth, with the girls and the boys, and then there's going to be what do you call this? A project planning and development process that we follow at Plan International Philippines. But beyond this, beyond the production eventually, beyond this, we will continue with our advocacy, of course, with the local government units, with the policymakers. I mean, I have read, I think in India, if I am not mistaken, I'm also looking at Shumo here, who happens to be with Plan International. I think there's a move in the Indian government that there's a tax exemption on sanitary pads. And if we can do that here in the Philippines for that matter, that's going to be a big milestone, so to speak, a breakthrough. There are just so many steps moving forward, but definitely this is, we have just begun, so to speak. Papunta pa lang tayo doon, sabi nga. Okay?
Good luck on your projects
Thank
and
you.
with the coalition. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Sir Jay. Up next, we have a question from Manila Standard, Sir Ethan.
Buhay and namaste in Harnaaz and to all of you. In Harnaaz, when you were first experiencing your first period, what's the best advice did you get from your gynecologist mother, doctor, and specifically about your health and your body that we'd like to share to young women of today?
Well, I think the first thing that she told me was, don't cry. You are not going to die. She said it's okay, it's normal. I will make sure that I'm always by your side when you need me. And being a medical professional, she taught me how to use the pad and the importance of keep changing the pads according to your flow. And I think she not only advised me on menstruation and teaching me everything regarding that, but also supported me emotionally. And I think that's what we all need. We need emotional support, especially when we have a first period and when we are on a period days. We need the support that to normalize it and not to make it as taboo. And my mom chose to break that within me so that when I grow up and meet young women in my community, in my workplace, in my school, I break it and pass it, the message that she has given to me to pass it on to so many pregnant women. So that is what I'm trying to do, and I hope my mom is watching this and is proud of spreading this word of her. And I'm also looking at your chat. It's very beautiful. Thank you so much for this innovative idea, and you're looking incredible. Thank you.
Welcome to Harnaaz. Last question. Young women grew up in the city. Well, what advice can you give to those in the far-flung areas to fight stigma? They don't have to be ashamed of it. like buying pads in a little store, what advice can you give them to fight the stigma in harness? To those in the far-flung communities?
Absolutely. I think the biggest stigma that they have is in their own mindsets. They need to break it from there. And I know it's difficult to start, but it's not impossible. And once you start and once you be the voice of your own, you understand that how strong you have become. And you need to go out and ask for something that you need. That's a pad. You need a pad. You can't survive without that. And if you don't have access, then we are there to support you. But that only starts when you are ready to make that choice in your life. And I am so thankful to all of you for being here, because through you only, we would be able to reach them and to break the stigmas and to make them feel comfortable so that they also rise up and talk about their problems.
Thank you so much, Miss Harnaaz, and we love you so much as we love Sushmita and Lara.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sir Ethan. Us in Planet National, we are also very active in empowering young journalists to be future media practitioners. So for today, we're joined with one of our youth reporters, Ivan, who is part of a network of young journalists all over the Philippines who go through lots of training and support in order to break through it, right, into the media industry. So Ivan has a question.
Yeah, so, hello po, Miss Harnaaz. I am Ivan Amador, the youth reporter for Valley International. So here's my question. As a youth reporter, how will you be able to further influence young males such as myself and other young males in this room to continue and support this wonderful advocacy mainly being experienced by young girls and women?
I think the best way to influence them is to make them realize that you are the influencers and you are the change of tomorrow. So I need you to support me, and that works vice versa. Your stories are your words and your speech. You need to come out and talk about it. I'm there to support you. And I think the plan that Planet National has, and to reach around 20 million goals in 5 years, I think that can only happen when those 20 million goals come and talk about it, and they're ready to support not only themselves but all of us. So that's the way I believe that we can impact and change the world.
Thank you, Miss Harnaaz. You're very wonderful.
Thank you so much, and you are doing an amazing job.
Thank you, Ivan. Next up, we have a question for Sir Bon of News 5 Digital.
Hi, Harnaaz. What would you tell to a young woman or a young girl who just had her first period?
I just want to tell her that you are a woman and you are great. The thing that you got your first period should not come into your way of what you want to do in your life. You know it's normal and you are learning and growing with it. So choose to take it as a positivity and to take it to educate other women that you will be surrounded by. Because if you just had your first period, there are so many of your friends who will have their first period. So educate them about it. And if you need more help and support, then you have organizations like Planet National to teach yourself more about periods. And I'm there always to support you. So far.
Aside from your advocacy related to menstrual equity, what excites you the most when you found out that you're going to visit the Philippines?
Wow, there are so many things that I'm really excited about. I think there is one. If we talk about food, I hope that's okay. I'm a foodie and I love to keep on taking in food. So I've heard about Hello. Oh, I love sweets, and I think I really want to try Hello. And there are some incredible fruits that Philippines is also famous for, and I would love. Do you have any names that you think that I should try?
Enchiladas. Adobo.
Sinigang.
Sinigang.
Lechon.
Lechon.
Okay.
You're going to visit Bigan Ilocos City.
Ilocos
You should try
empanada.
Bagnet and Ilocos empanada.
Oh my God. Esther, you're writing that, right? We are going to try that. And also about Filipino mangoes. English is also famous for mangoes.
You can compare now.
Seasoned mangoes. You have the sweetest mango.
India has like, I think, 25 different types of mangoes. I know you have more than us, but stay tuned for that who wins this competition.
Vlog it, please.
Thank you so much.
Do a vlog.
Yes, okay. Misha, let's do a vlog. Thank you.
I think we have a follow-up question from Sir Larson, and then
Okay, to our youth leaders, after hearing Harnaaz's story about the menstrual the discrimination in India, how do you react to that? I mean, compared to the Philippines, how do you feel about that?
I feel bad about it. It's very crucial to separate a person which is part of a family and separate her away just because of a natural process. So as a part of a family, we should love each other, support each other, and accept what flaws do we have and try to understand more the physical changes that occurs or take place when we are in the puberty or adolescent stages.
Okay, thank you. And Harnaaz, how would you describe your reign as Miss Universe?
Well, till now, I have experienced a huge transformation itself, where I've gotten this incredible opportunity to meet amazing individuals and organizations like Plan International and Plan India, where we got to do something that I've been waiting from years, and also to empower women of all colors, sizes, and shapes, to make them feel confident about achieving their goals and to make them realize that we all are unstoppable and you have that X factor to conquer your goals, and I'm always there to support you. And I'm really looking forward to the upcoming months of my reign. Time is flying like anything, but I think it is going to be an unforgettable year of my life, which will teach me lessons of the rest of my life. So thanks to all of you for being a part of my reign, and I can't wait for the upcoming years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Harnaaz, I'm Drew, and it feels surreal to finally interview you wearing the sash because months ago I interviewed you for Mississology when you were Miss Diva. And now my question is, what advice can you give young boys and men on how they could create a safe space for young women and girls, and with regards to feminine health and menstruation?
I think the advice that and the support that I would appeal from them would be to normalize. The appeal that I would like to ask for from men is to support women and to normalize the terminology period and menstruation. They know it's normal. We know it's normal, and we need everyone out there, all genders, to support us. And I think as I shared my own story of how my brother and my father supports me when I'm on my periods, I think that's very important because they are going to, they have their mothers, their sisters, their wives who need enough support to make them feel comfortable, because this starts from the family itself, and that's how it gets bigger. And I think it's changing. I could see that happening, and I could see men supporting women, and I think that's where the stigmas are breaking, and we can together do incredible things in this beautiful world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Drew. Do we have any other questions? I think we have time for 2 more.
Harnaaz, we wanted to ask you because, of course, we're all in the Miss Universe fever here in the Philippines aside from our upcoming elections. But can you tell us, like, in the heat of the pressure when you were in Israel competing, you said you only had 1 month to prepare, which is
Right, 30 days.
Huh?
Yes, only 30 days, yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible because you had such a powerful performance. What would you, and yesterday you said that the girls who are competing in this year's MUPH are super strong. So at this point of pressure and last minute preps, what's your winning secret? How did you do it?
Okay. Well, my winning secret was that I had no time to think about anything else because I was so focused. But I think my winning secret has always been to take care of my mental health, to make sure that everything that comes in my way is temporary and I'm going to grow from it. If I don't hit the ground, it's not the end of my life. What I have learned, what I have experienced is what makes me a winner, is more important to me. So whenever I felt that pressure was too high and it was getting overwhelming and out of control, I always took that time for my own self and just backed off from everything that was happening. It's normal to feel overwhelming, it's normal to feel nervous. You need to meditate, you need to relax yourself and understand that nothing is in your control. Just enjoy, because you will regret that. After when everything is over, you will regret that you should have enjoyed. So be grateful that you have given this opportunity to represent yourself and your spark, and to inspire so many young ladies around you who wants to be in your position right now.
I have to ask you, how's life in New York as Miss Universe?
It's super amazing. I think it was, the first 1 month was kind of understanding the lifestyle in New York. And we also got to do some experimental shoot in New York. And Esther has been one of my best companion to teach me everything about New York. And now I can proudly say that I'm a New Yorker and I can't wait to explore more part of the New York.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Dayan. Do we have any other questions?
Okay, Harnaaz, how excited are you to meet and to be with the other Miss Universe queens?
I think I'm more than excited to express. It's my first time in Philippines, and we know how wonderful the girls are of Miss Philippines Universe 2022. So really looking into to meet them and to understand their ideology and how strong they are to and responsible towards talking about themselves and voice for so many young women around them. How beautifully she speaks and how beautifully she means what she speaks is important. And the hashtag itself, confidently beautiful, is what I'm really looking forward to.
Okay, thank you. Oh, you're going to vegan later. Have you heard about vegan? Has Esther told you about vegan?
Well, I really hope that we get enough time to go to vegan, and I think Esther, you talked about Esther. Oh, she says yes, we are going, and yes, she has been talking about that a lot, and I'm really excited to be there and watch it through my own eyes and share with you all that what was my experience like. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. If there are no more questions